If you had genuine concerns, you'd come to me. Shut up, man.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 23. We do not come to unseen bits, so that's where... Let's get right into this episode because we've been waiting for this episode. Since the episode ended last night and we saw that preview, we were just waiting until that episode came on. We were just waiting for that next episode. The first look took forever to come out because we were just like, where's the first look? Where's the first look? What's coming on? What's coming on? And yeah, let's get right into that episode. So Scott and Catherine, they were talking at the fire pit. And, Scott was basically telling Catherine, Catherine asked Scott, did you bring the guys, did you spoke to the guys today? And he said no. So he's like, I'm going to just bring everybody all the way to the fire pit so we can all basically talk about it. Catherine, she's non-confrontational. She didn't really want him to do that. She was just kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. Because obviously she didn't want it to escalate and get out of hand. But he was like, nah, this is what we have to do. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like, Scott, he did what he needed to. Scott did that. He did that. He brought everybody to the fire pit. And he was like, yo, if you got something to say to me, let me know. Air it out.
Anything that you want to tell me?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm honest, unlike other people in here.
Is there anything that you want to say? Like, I feel like it's a feeling within the villa for myself that, people kind of think that you're semi-playing a game still. I'm not saying that you don't have feelings for Catherine or you don't rate Catherine, but I feel like you're definitely over-exaggerating your feelings towards Catherine.
That was the most uncomfortable situation I've ever
I understand,
feeling.
yeah? Catherine, first of all, we apologise for making you feel uncomfortable, yeah? And
You mean you apologise?
Catherine was obviously uneasy because she didn't really want that to happen, but, So everybody looking. Next thing you know, Tyreek first says something like, you're basically being in a couple of Catherine to stay in the villa longer. Lee, when it ended with Leah and Katie, you decided to focus in on Catherine.
With Catherine, to just try to stay here longer. That's what we feel.
No one's saying you don't have feelings towards Catherine. Where this is spiraled from is the fact that you tried to get to know Leah, tried to get to know Katie, neither of them went well, and then before you finished even getting to know them, you suddenly went bang, closed off with Catherine, and then everyone was just like, it was just a bit rash and a bit weird to just close things off completely because it wasn't really being reciprocated, and that's where.
Well, it was being reciprocated. That was the thing.
And
When you say a lie, you say a non-truth, that was the biggest non-truth there. Definitely still liked this man when he cut it off with Leah. Katie was still trying to speak to Scott, and that was before or after he cut it off. He basically told Catherine he's basically all in on her in the villa. Katie was still saying, I want to go speak to Scott and Tyreek, even though Tyreek closed it off with Ella on the date. And Scott and Catherine basically they closed it off in the villa at this point in time. And Katie was still open to getting to know Scott. So how are you going to come and say, because I guess Scott fumbled. He's trying to say how Scott basically fumbled with Katie and Leah, or Leah and Katie basically didn't show any interest in him. So he's like, I guess Catherine's my backup plan. That's how they're trying to act like that's what, Scott did. And no, Scott still had options. You know what I'm saying? He still had options. If he really wanted to get with Leah, she was definitely waiting before Montel came in. She was definitely waiting. Okay? She was definitely waiting. You know what I'm saying? Because she was obviously annoyed that this man didn't spoke to her the whole entire day, and he was getting closer with Catherine. And then, he kissed Catherine on the terrace. They would bring up, you kissed Catherine on the terrace.
Catherine, Scott all of a sudden kissed on the terrace.
Facts.
Actually.
You kissed her on the second day on the terrace. Does that mean anything?
No, but I didn't have... No, but...
Yeah,
no, it doesn't mean anything.
What's this terrace thing?
The only people who didn't have this opinion was Whitney, Ella, Katie.
Yeah, because that just showed you he's not really caring for Leah anymore. That just showed you, after Leah and him had that chat, he made that decision. You got to understand, after that chat, he was so put off of Leah that he made his decision right then and there that it was going to be Catherine. And that's why the kiss on the terrace happened. And it's so funny coming from Montel. He had the nerve to open his mouth and say, oh, the tears kiss. Catherine had to say, you kissed Leah after 48 hours. And he was stuttering, like he was stuttering, okay? This man, they Catherine and Scott had them gagged. They had them stuttering. You know what I'm saying? They trying to pull up all these different things, like, oh, the whole Katie and Leah thing, which is non-true. Not true at all. The whole terrace thing, when Montel took Leah up to the terrace and kissed her after finding out that Catherine and Scott had their kiss. Basically, like I said, he was pressed about that whole kiss. He was pressed. Don't let him front. He was pressed. It was kind of funny how he had the nerve to open his mouth like who asked for him? And then Sammy, oh, he had the audacity. This man had the audacity to come talk about relationships when he done said multiple times to the guys, he don't really find just attractive like that. He had the audacity to open his mouth. I'm like so confused. Like, what's going on? Anyway, Catherine and Scott got that villa together. You know, we hear Catherine basically said, if you had general concern for me, you would have pulled me to the side. Like I said in my video yesterday, I said, if Tyreek really cared for Catherine, he would have pulled her to the side, pulled her up, pulled Scott up and said, okay, what's going on, or this is what's being said, or I just don't really trust Scott, da 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 da. The fact that you were just putting your opinions out into the open, like actually being really, mean about it in the villa, was just very uncalled for. You guys are keep on saying it's opinions. Like, oh, he shouldn't be upset about it. But the fact that they could have heard you and you didn't care and you were having a big problem, big issue with it, it says that needs to be said. Like, he needed to say what he needs to be said. Obviously, after the whole situation, we hear, I believe, Tyreek had the audacity, I guess, to tell Catherine to shut up. And I'm like, oh, he need to get out of that villa. Anyway, so Catherine and Whitney were walking, and I think Scott was walking as well. Whitney said to Katie, like, if you got something to say to me, let me know. So Katie started crying and say, oh, you need to tell me this and this and that. So watch Catherine basically stick up for Whitney. She's like, no. She was about to go into the bedroom and like go into the villa or whatever and go into the rooms. But as soon as Katie opened her mouth, Catherine was on her. She was just like, nah, you're not about to buck up to Whitney. Like, she don't play about Whitney at all.
I'm literally so
How would you know she likes him after one conversation?
You've not pulled me once, and are you okay?
I'm lighting up a fire.
She don't play about Whitney. Like, Katie started crying about the whole Zach situation. Like, oh, you should have told me that you had feelings for Zach or da-da-da-da. I'm like, Whitney just said it was a vibe. There's a connection there. Like, I don't think Whitney's all head over heels for Zach. And then, that while that was happening, Scott, actually, Zach seemed to be a decent dude today, and he was actually talking to Scott. Because I think Zach was the only one to know to mind his business in that conversation. You saw how mute he was when the conversation was actually being had? He was mute.
You handled it in the best way you could have.
Honestly, this was needed. There's too many things being said behind people's backs. Everything's out in the open. We'll recover from this.
Don't let a conversation that people will forget about within the next 10 minutes
100%, mate. Yeah, no,
ruin your whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He stayed true to himself, and he showed Catherine that he's willing to back her in front of everybody. So big up to him. He's done his thing. People need to vent. They need to vent. Hopefully tomorrow.
And he was the only one who actually pulled Scott and like talked to him first. And then next thing you know, all the other guys started being like, oh, I'm sorry, Scott. Da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, he needed to deep it a little bit more. He needed to like be a little more upset because what they did was just very much uncalled for. Like, I think that he should have like had it deeped a little bit more, because the fact that they cleared it up with that same night was just like, no, please. But yeah, he obviously, Scott, forgive them. He was like, I just had to let that out, he pulled Catherine basically to say, like, had to be done. He just wanted to he wanted to defend him, Catherine, basically their couple. I think the only thing that Catherine had to say was that, you know, it felt like in that conversation that, you know, no one was letting her speak. You know, she was trying to speak, and, you know, they were just trying to talk over her.
That's not my issue. That's not my issue.
If you're not supposed to be Catherine's friend, you pull her up on it and say...
So that was the only issue she had. Also, she just said that, you know, she just didn't want the thing to escalate, but she was definitely backing him in that situation. It was, you know, very much mutual. Like, they were getting them. There was like a tag team, okay? They all go to bed, get back up. You know, they're like, how are you feeling, Scott? How are you feeling, I don't even know who else, Katie. But I'm like, how are you feeling, Catherine? Like, Catherine was in the mix too. Like, you guys have these opinions about their relationship, and if you really had concern about that relationship, you would have pulled them to speak to them. Anyway, I wake up, you know, seems like everybody's kumbaya now. Everybody cool, everybody good. And I'm just like, it's so funny because I noticed that the producers made them like have to socialize with other people. Like, they had Scott sitting with Tyreek and Ella. At one point, they had Scott and Catherine sitting with Jess and Sammy, and I'm just like, you know, that was by force.
I brought us closer, probably, to be fair.
Yeah, I do feel it's obviously good as well to know how he handles stuff in them kind of situations, because that's going to be important.
Yeah, no, of course.
You know?
See, stuff like that, I'm not asked about if it gets miscommunicated with everyone else. As long as Catherine knew what I was saying, I mean, that's all I cared. So I wasn't care. I didn't care if people didn't understand what I was saying there.
It's brought you two closer.
I feel like the Villa's in a much better place for that happening last night. It was needed.
And they were just basically talking, and, you know, one thing that Scott said was just like, I don't care what anybody else had to say. I just really care about what Catherine had to say. Like, this is why I did this voice for him and Catherine. Like, he don't care what nobody else had to say. He did it for them. Like, that man defended his couple. Like I said, he defended his couple. Anyway, Jess gets a text that Neo is basically coming to the villa. He about to be the musical act for the villa, and everybody's hyped. They all jumped into the pool except for Whitney and Catherine, which is kind of funny because they're like, I know they didn't want to get their hair wet. They did not want to get that hair wet. Everybody jumped in the pool. Then they started getting ready. And it was like, you know, everybody getting ready for the thing. Neo's out. He starts singing Independent. He started Independent. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, let's go. Like, it was a nice, like, you know, you were at your little concert having fun. You know, everybody was having fun. Everybody's all cool. Everybody's cordial. Next thing you know, the concert ended. And, you know, they were taking pictures, taking videos, whatever. So the Neo, he's like, you know what, guys, I just want to take the girls and have, like, a little selfie for each other. And when I tell you the producers ate, the seasoning is seasoning. You know what I'm saying? The season is seasoning.
Now, fellas, no disrespect, but if it's all right, I would like to get a selfie with just the ladies. Is that cool? I'll follow y'all. Here we go.
Come on.
Lead the way.
Let Neo.
It's so sad.
I'm not tripping. Okay, ladies. I have a surprise for you.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah, that car right there.
I've had a lot of whole
When I tell you the producers ate, Neil brought the girls inside the bedroom and I guess outside the front door. And they were trying to take pictures. And after you take pictures, he was like, them pulled up. And it was like the transition into Casa Amor. Catherine's like, let's go. You know, because obviously it was just like, everybody knows the Casa Amor. So then, because they were screaming so much, the boys were like, what's going on? Why? Like, what's going on? So the girls already drove off, and then they started running through the villa to the front door and find out the girls are gone.
Oh my fuck.
So they were like, where did it go? Next thing you know, Casa Amor directly across the villa. Like, you can see the villa lights and everything showing, like, when they were standing out there looking across the villa, they was like, oh, it's Casa Amor. Scott looked stressed. Like, all the boys are shook. They were shooketh because it was like, Neo took their girls. But Scott was the most stressed because he was just like, what? But that was the transition into Casa, and I want to say they really ate that. I don't even remember if they ever had like a nighttime into Casa Amor. It's usually always into the daytime. The girls are like waking up, going upstairs, and then they have to sneak out or something, or the guys either sneak out. But the fact that it was basically a party or a concert, and then Neo basically was so slick with it. He was like, let's go out here to take some pictures. And next thing you know, the car pulled the girls in. And I'm like, yo, they ate that. This season is seasoning. The producers ate that one thing. Like, yeah, this is a great, probably one of the best transitions for Casa entire series. The girls are in Casa. The boys are back in the villa. You know, obviously, you know, Catherine's asking, like, who's going to turn their head? You know, what's going to go on? You know, she was basically mentioning how, I guess this is probably the biggest test for Jess, because Mitch was obviously not the test for Jess at all. You know, Ella was saying that this is probably a test for Tyreek because, you know, now that she's really out the villa, let's see how he operates. I guess they are all basically comparing themselves to how Tyreek and Ella are like probably the only one who's really, really closed off. But I feel like Catherine and Scott are definitely closed off too. I mean, I would say so too, but I guess in terms of Tyreek and Ella, they're probably the most closed off. Anyway, we go back to the villa and you hear the guys. Obviously, like I said, Scott is stressed. He's just basically like, I wonder what Catherine's going to do.
I honestly do not know what Catherine's going to be doing. I have no idea.
With your one, it's just what kind of guys is in there.
Yeah. I also think it's whether all this has got to her head about me being a game player and that I'm thinking, am I going to get with someone?
I don't think she's...
I don't think it has, but I just don't know. Mate.
The guys are stressed. So we see the Casa Amor guys, and I'm just like, okay. The only people that I kind of remember is Elam and Ben.
My name is Elam, I'm 22, I'm from North London, and I'm a personal trainer.
My name's Lachlan, I'm 25, and I'm an account manager from London. I'm here to...
My name's Zach, 27, I work in tech sales, and I'm from Manchester.
I'm Cody, I'm 20, I do digital marketing, social media, and I'm from Birmingham.
My name's Uzi, I'm 28 years old, 6'4", part-time footballer, model, and I'm from Edinburgh.
I'm Ben, I'm 26, from London, and I am a personal trainer.
And I feel like Elam and Whitney, it might be something, I don't know. But we see all the guys for Casa Amor, and I was like, okay. I feel like they might be some obviously strays, but anything else, I don't think Catherine's gonna stray. And I don't think Scott's gonna stray, because I saw the lineup for the girls. And the lineup for the girls, like I said, they ate. The producers ate, except for this one thing, bro.
Meet the new girls. And say hello to an old friend.
Like, the episode was actually pretty good. I was actually entertained, having fun, like, shooketh, like, gagged, like, what? Next thing you know, they brought Molly back. And they brought Molly back for what? I feel like it's very unfair to bring Molly back because Molly has been, you know, able to see the public's perception of how things are going in the villa. That she was able to see that. She was on After Sun. She knows what's going on. She has everybody else's perspective on what's going on. So the fact that she's being able to enter the villa is very unfair. Granted, the way that she got dumped from the villa was very shocking, very, like, you know, kind of brutal. But the fact that they bring her back for Casa is so unfair. And the thing is that I feel like I don't think Zach is going to take her back. I don't think so. I think there's going to be a big storyline with that because I think since she was able to see what happened outside of the show, she's going to probably have a chat to Zach and, like, try to see what's going on there. But they definitely brought her back for Zach because, you know, Zach over here acting like, you know, Molly was the one for him. And then he's over here kissing up Katie. And then he's saying he's getting to know Whitney. So they probably brought her back for Zach. And the thing is that even if he doesn't pick her, we got the delusional Mitchell who's like, oh, friends island over here. Mitchell who probably might save her or be like, you know what? Let's bring back Molly. Give her a second chance. Like, you know, that's what he's probably going to do. Because I'm not sure if any of the girls in that lineup is going to go after Mitchell. Unless they're trying to get into that villa, they might cozy up to Mitchell knowing that he's the most available one. But to be honest, he might just pick Molly to save because obviously Jess is going to stay single, assumingly for Sammy. We don't even know if Sammy's going to stay single for Jess. Because I don't think that's going to happen. That's going to be a big thing. I think Jess is going to be a Casa Amor victim because she's going to be thinking that, oh, Sammy might be staying single for her. Because we were hearing in the villa, you know, she's like, we're seeing this relationship long term. Whitney's saying, like, I see you guys getting married and having kids. I'm like, Whitney, please. Whitney, please. Don't hype this up at all. Whitney, stop. She's saying she sees Jess and Sammy get married. Like, Jess is going to be a Casa Amor victim. And she's going to be a movie night victim. Jess is going to be a victim. Like, I'm telling you right now, I don't think Sammy's going to stay single for Jess. And then movie night comes. Yeah, no. No. But Casa Amor is here. Sunday night, we're going to see Casa Amor. Obviously, I feel like, here's my predictions. Obviously, anything can go because you know how people get. You know, as soon as you're there, you're in that villa for a while, you know how people get. But one thing I feel like, who's going to stray and who's not going to stray. On the girls' side, I don't think Catherine's going to stray. I don't think Ella's going to stray. I don't think Jess is going to stray. I think most likely Katie might stray. If Leah stays single and waits for Montel, that's a big shock. And who else? Whitney. Whitney's the only one who's going to definitely recouple because she definitely heard from Katie herself that he was downplaying the date, and the fact that I guess she kind of deeped it. You know, he said I think since Ella asked who we're going to pick, if you had to pick right now, who you're going to pick, and he said Katie, and since Ella had the tea, she's definitely going to tell Whitney what happened. So therefore, Whitney knows Zach ain't staying. This is like Whitney knows. Like Whitney's like she knows. So she's obviously gonna pick somebody to recouple, and it's probably gonna be Elam. So here we go. Now for the boys' side, I think definitely Scott's gonna stay single. I think he was definitely stressed. Zach, it's very much a toss-up. I don't know who, but he's gonna recouple. Tyreek, I think he's going to stay single and recouple, but he's going to do some messed up stuff. Sammy, he's going to recouple. If he stays single for Jess, that's the biggest shock right there. Montel, I don't know. He might go for the Ella duplicate. Like, he might go for the second Ella. He really might go for a second Ella. So he might recouple with that second Ella. Who else is in that villa? Mitchell, he's obviously going to recouple with the Molly person, with the Molly, and then, or somebody else in that villa. So that is really my predictions of the whole Casa Amor situation. I can't wait to see on Sunday what's going to happen. Obviously, we're going to see the basic challenges. We're on Casa Amor. I just don't feel like Molly should have been added back. Like, they could have left her. They should have just left her, stayed home. Like, what's the point? Because she has a lot of information that's just going to really change the whole dynamic if she basically starts spewing that information to the guys like that. And, you know, getting on Zach and stuff like that. Like, no, this just not fair. Obviously, the filming for Casa Amor is usually the weekend. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's only 3 days, 3 to 4 days, give or take, for Casa Amor. So they're going to be back in real time by Monday. So by this Monday, they're probably going to be back in that villa. like who we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But since we're gonna have Sunday night's episode, Monday night's episode, Tuesday night, and maybe Wednesday or Thursday, we're gonna see who's gonna come back to the villa or who's not gonna come back. Like we're gonna see the recoupling, and I feel like by the last half of next week, we're gonna see what's gonna go on with Casa Amor and the recoupling and aftermath stuff like that. But anyway, guys, this was episode 23 review of Love Island season 10. And if you guys like the video, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.